is a lot about how you guys manage yourselves. If I were doing this, I would probably, very early in the process, have 2 little testing periods to see how my colleagues are going to work out. I suggested Tim's going to give you a set of assigned readings. You're expected to read all of those. What I would suggest as one strategy for testing each other out is you read paper A, you read paper B, you read paper C, you read paper D, you get together the next day, you report back on your paper, you report back to the group on your paper, and just get a feel for, are people going to bother doing their homework? If they are doing it, what sort of quality are they putting into their assessment of the work? That'd be my first way of testing waters. The next thing I would suggest is, I did say that once you leave the group of 12, you're down to the group of 3, 4, 5. You're going to probably need to look for more papers. Okay, you're leaving this room at 10 o'clock today. You talk amongst yourselves and you say, right, by 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, each person in the group will have emailed everybody else with a title of a paper that they think is worth reading. If you got a PDF of it, great, fire the PDF in. If not, say it's in the stacks, blah, 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 go find it. Okay? Copyright infringement, you're not allowed to find a paper and make 5 photocopies of it. Not allowed. You can copy it for yourself and tell them where to find it, but you can't make 5 copies and just hand them over. See who complies, see who doesn't comply. And it doesn't really matter if you get 3 people finding the same paper. That kind of just means you're all thinking on the same wavelength. It's more about the process of, we've assigned a task, are we all playing ball, are we all doing it? And then you've got the practice sessions, things like that. Are people showing up on time? Are they showing up with their pens and papers? They look organized. If you find that someone on your team just isn't pulling their weight, hold a group meeting, sit down, and try and manage the situation. Okay, what is it that's wrong? Well, I can't give you any feedback on Thursdays because Wednesday night's my night to look after the kids. So from 4 o'clock Wednesday till 9 o'clock Thursday morning, I'm useless. Okay, we don't have Monday or Thursday morning meetings. We now have Thursday afternoon or Friday morning meetings with the group. Simple, it's been resolved. It may be, I just don't care. At which point, you guys have tried to intervene, the management, the group management isn't working, and basically you guys want to pull the plug on this and other. I would prefer if you guys didn't pull the plug, because that's just going to create animosities in the group of 3, 4, 5, and the group of 12, in the whole 3rd year. Email me. My job is to manage the unit. Email me and say, look, so-and-so just isn't pulling their weight. I'll come through and chat with, hi there. I'll come through and chat with everybody in the group and try and get a backstory, see what's happening. If I feel necessary, I will then step in and intervene big time and try and get this person on board. If that person will not comply, basically the group size is just dropped. And that person is basically strung themselves out. Hopefully we will get resolution as we go. Yes, there will be some people who shine in a group and some people who don't shine in a group, but it's the person who isn't even playing the game that I'm interested in trying to help you guys with. I would prefer that you report to me if that situation is growing and not to Tim. You can copy Tim in when you send me the email so Tim knows what's happening. But I think if someone's going to play the heavy, if Tim plays the heavy, hi there. If Tim plays the heavy, then what you'll find is he sort of might sour the group. That person will feel picked on, or Tim's playing favorites. So I don't want to sour the group of 12. So if I do it from the outside, I don't affect the group dynamic. Is that a fair way of approaching it? Yeah. The monster tragedy would be if somebody doesn't show up on data collection day. Particularly if you're a group of 3. Then you only got 2 people left. So you phone around and where's Billy? Billy's been in a car crash. Okay, so there's nothing we can do about Billy not being there. It's a legitimate, documented reason for not being there. If it's just, oh man, I slept in again, Billy's just kind of messed up his project. But you have a group of 12 that you're all working from. You should be familiar enough with the general concepts of each other's projects, familiar enough with the equipment of other people's projects, that you can just phone up and, Jack, we got a problem. Billy's been in a car crash, and as much as we're missing Billy and hope he gets better, we got data collection. Can you run down here quick and help us out? Okay? So you do have a pool of people in the background who can come in and help support you. If it goes completely pear-shaped, there's a fire alarm. You booked in for 2 hours, and you've got 45 minutes standing out front waiting for the clearance to come back in. Big deal. Cross it out. Today's been canceled, it just isn't happening. Total equipment failure. Something just like sparked down the lines, equipment burst into flames. Should we try next Tuesday? Okay. Don't panic if that one day goes a little pear-shaped. There are recovery strategies. Happy? Okay. So we've got the groups of 3, 4, 5, and we've had a data collection session. And this group of 3 has collected a block of data. And it may be that person 1 is looking at the rate of decay data. Okay, how long did the effect last after the intervention? Someone else might be looking more at the immediate post-intervention effect of 3 different rates of the oscillatory. A third person might be looking at the level of tension that you take the oscillatory to relative to the first point change range of motion. So 3 completely separate data sets in that mini group, off you go. Or it might be that you've got one data block for 16 people. You're going to work with the numbers for subjects 1 through 12. You're going to work through 4 through 16. You're going to work through 1 to 6 and, I don't know, 10 to 16. So you end up with a subsection of the whole population. So when you start cranking numbers, your numbers don't match. So we can see that this is your data set for you alone to deal with. This is your data set for you alone to deal with. Okay? So depending on the project, these blocks of data will arrive to you in different formats. Okay? So whilst we still have the group of 3, at this point it's definitely my project now, my project now, my project now, and away you go. Okay? Does that kind of make sense? How each person now has ownership of the data set, and now we're starting to get to assessment points. Yeah? First assessment point, as I described in the last lecture on Monday, is all about reflection on everything above the green line. The next data point down here, unfortunately, we've had a couple of people talk about this as a group poster presentation. And that can be interpreted 2 ways. Okay, we can have authors and observers. A group poster would be a poster with 3 authors, and then your observers. A group presentation would be a poster with 1 author, group presenting to a group. So it's the presentation by 1 person to the group, as opposed to a poster by multiple people. Okay? See the difference? 1 author, 1 poster, 3 authors, 1 poster. People who are looking at going into a master's program,